You feel the same. You eat the same meals, keep the same routine. But after 60, your stomach takes nearly 50% longer to process a single meal. Your colon slows by 40%. Acid drops by a third. This isn't disease. It's your body quietly changing the rules. And what your digestion is trying to tell you could reshape your comfort, confidence, and independence for years to come. Number 17. Meatloaf with tomato glaze and green beans. Inside the body, the journey of a meal slows in ways that are both measurable and deeply felt. In younger adults, food typically leaves the stomach in about 90 minutes. By age 70, that same process stretches to 130 minutes, a nearly 50% delay. The muscle contractions that once moved food along with a steady rhythm have lost some of their force. Specialized manometry studies show the stomach's contractile strength drops from about 60 millimeters of mercury in youth to just over 40 in older age. This gentle weakening means meals linger longer, often creating a sense of fullness that can last well into the afternoon or evening. Beyond the stomach, the colon, the body's final processing station, also takes its time. In people under 60, the trip from start to finish averages 38 hours. After 70, that journey extends to 53 hours, a 39% increase. Most of the delay happens in the lower colon, where peristaltic waves lose their timing and power. Scintigraphy and radio-opaque marker studies confirm that this is not just a feeling, but a biological reality that affects nearly everyone with age. Experts like Dr. Michael Camilleri describe these changes as a gradual, natural slowdown, one that can tip easily into constipation when other burdens are added. Even minor shifts in routine, hydration, or medication can now have an outsized impact. The numbers tell a clear story. The digestive highway narrows, traffic slows, and what was once an automatic process now requires a bit more patience and care. This mechanical slowdown is the backdrop for every meal, every snack, and every choice that follows. Number 17. Meatloaf with tomato glaze and green beans. Chemical changes inside the aging digestive tract set the stage for a quieter, slower process. By the time a person reaches their mid-60s, the stomach's ability to produce hydrochloric acid has dropped by about 30%. This decline is not just a number. It changes how well proteins are broken down, how minerals like iron and calcium are absorbed, and how effectively the stomach can guard against harmful bacteria. Alongside acid, pepsin production also falls, with studies showing a 40% decrease in this key protein digesting enzyme among older adults. Meals that once felt light may now linger, leaving a sense of fullness or mild discomfort hours after eating. But the story doesn't stop with secretions. The gut's own nervous system, the enteric nervous system, loses nerve cells steadily after age 50. Researchers have found that every decade brings a 15 to 20% drop in the neurons that help coordinate digestive muscle contractions. This loss is not uniform. It tends to begin in the stomach and gradually extends down the digestive tract. Another quiet player, the interstitial cells of Cajal, act as pacemakers for gut movement. Their numbers fall by about 13% per decade, further slowing the natural rhythm that moves food along. These shifts are not just background noise. They are part of the reason digestion can feel less predictable and more sensitive to small changes in routine. Together, these chemical and neural changes make the digestive process more delicate, and they help explain why meals and bowel habits often need a gentler, more thoughtful approach after 60. Many older adults are surprised to learn that the very medications meant to ease pain, manage mood, or control blood pressure can quietly interfere with digestion. In fact, nearly 1 in 10 cases of constipation in seniors can be traced directly to prescription drugs. Opioid painkillers are among the fastest to act, slowing the gut within just 2 or 3 days of starting a new dose. But they are far from the only culprits. 6 major drug groups are most often responsible: opioids, anticholinergics, tricyclic antidepressants, iron supplements, calcium channel blockers, and diuretics. Each of these can reduce the natural movement of the intestines or draw water away from the stool, making bowel movements less frequent and often more difficult. The risk is not limited to new prescriptions. Even long-standing medications can begin to cause trouble as the body's resilience changes with age. Some drugs like anticholinergics and tricyclic antidepressants have a dose-dependent effect. The higher the amount, the greater the slowdown. Calcium channel blockers may take several weeks before symptoms appear, while iron and diuretics can lead to harder stools in a matter of days, especially if fluid intake is low. Pharmacists often recommend a careful review of all medications when bowel habits change. A simple adjustment, or the addition of a gentle laxative, can restore comfort and prevent complications. For anyone experiencing fewer than 2 bowel movements per week, a conversation with a pharmacist or doctor about medication side effects is a practical first step. Marjorie, 71, still remembers the sharp cramp that forced her off a crowded train, cheeks burning with embarrassment. Since then, she's avoided her book club and skipped breakfast before outings, always scanning for the nearest restroom. Invitations she once welcomed now bring a quiet anxiety, shaping her days around the fear her body might betray her again. Samuel, 77, lives in a small Appalachian town. After a severe episode of constipation sent him to urgent care with a rectal bleed, he grew wary of every meal. His walker slows him, and each trip outside feels risky. Samuel's daughter, balancing errands and worry, describes the tension of wanting her father to stay active but fearing another emergency. She noticed that small changes, like drinking more water, a gentle walk after lunch, and a regular breakfast, helped Samuel regain some confidence. The relief was mutual. Outings became possible again, and both felt less trapped by uncertainty. For many older adults, the emotional toll of unpredictable digestion is heavy. National surveys, including the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, show anxiety and constipation often go hand in hand, feeding each other in a stubborn cycle. Yet even modest changes can restore a sense of dignity and connection. A gentle shift in daily habits can bring real comfort, even when digestion feels unpredictable. Dietitian Dr. Priya Menon, who studies the aging microbiome, often recommends starting with the basics, pairing fiber with water. Research on psyllium, a natural soluble fiber, shows that adding just a spoonful to breakfast with a full glass of water can help move things along, softening stool and making bowel movements more regular. But fiber alone is not enough. Each gram needs water to do its job, otherwise stool can harden, making things worse. Dr. Menon reminds her patients that even small increases in hydration, like an extra cup of water at each meal, can make a difference. Physical activity, even in short bursts, is another proven support. A 15-minute walk after lunch or dinner activates the gut's natural rhythm. Gentle movement stimulates the muscles of the colon, encouraging regularity without the strain of intense exercise. For those who enjoy variety, adding fermented foods like yogurt or kefir a few times a week introduces friendly bacteria that support a balanced gut. Clinical trials have found that probiotics can increase weekly stool frequency by up to 30% in older adults. Samuel, who once dreaded every meal, found that this simple routine, fiber with water, a walk after eating, and a serving of yogurt, helped restore his confidence. His days became more predictable, and his daughter noticed he was willing to join her on outings again. These changes do not require drastic diets or expensive supplements. They are practical, gentle adjustments that support comfort, dignity, and a sense of control. Small habits can make a difference, but certain mistakes can quietly undo progress. Ignoring the urge to go, for example, lets stool harden and makes the next trip more difficult. Drinking too little water, especially when adding more fiber, can turn gentle efforts into hard work for the colon. Relying too often on stimulant laxatives risks blunting the body's natural rhythm and may lead to dependence over time. Eating too little out of fear of discomfort can actually slow digestion further and leave the body short on nutrients. There are also warning signs that should never be brushed aside. Blood in the stool, whether bright red or black, needs prompt attention. Unexplained weight loss, severe or persistent abdominal pain, a sudden change in the shape of stools, or constipation that lasts longer than 4 weeks, all require a call to a doctor. These red flags are not just inconveniences. They are signals the body uses to ask for help. For those ready to try something new, a simple 2-week plan can offer a fresh start. Pair each meal with a glass of water, add a daily walk, and keep a small notebook to track changes. If symptoms persist or any red flag appears, seek medical advice without delay. Marjorie, who once avoided outings, found that small, steady steps brought back her confidence. One comfortable day at a time. Each day, gentle choices, including hydration, movement, and mindful routines, shape comfort and confidence far more than quick fixes. As millions quietly navigate these changes, digestive health remains a foundation for independence and dignity. Listening to your body is not just wise, it is an act of self-respect. Thank you for joining this conversation.